Hey folks, it is Thursday, September 26th. The time right now is 5:03 p.m. and the temperature is 23 degrees Celsius here in downtown Toronto. And this is King Street. And that is an awful lot of people waiting for a westbound 504 King streetcar, one that appears to still be several blocks away. And there's an eastbound 501 Queen streetcar. And in this one, we'll be going for a walk around the financial district. And I'll be following a similar route to a video I did almost 5 years ago. And that's one of the most viewed videos on the channel. It currently has 464,000 views. Although I started that one at the TD Center, which is coming up. But when I get there, I'll pretty much mimic the route from that one. Although back in those days, you had the luxury of peace and quiet from me. I didn't talk throughout the videos. And just on the right is one of my favorite towers in Toronto, Scotia Plaza, at 908 feet tall. And coming up is Bay and King, pretty much the heart of the financial district. And we are in the thick of rush hour. Oh, it's turned out to be a pretty nice day weather-wise. There's First Canadian Place, completed in 1975, and that is for now the tallest building in the country at 978 feet tall. I mentioned it before, but I spent 5 years working in that building up over the 50th floor.
I like I cross over where the lights change.
Those Queen streetcars and buses. Whoa, this car almost reversed into people. Those Queen streetcars are being diverted down to King. And the city has recently implemented increased fines for people blocking the box and getting stuck in crossings. Yes, that is a very big problem that plagues our streets, particularly around rush hour. I think these people are going to be met with a packed streetcar by the time it rolls up. Tons of bike shares here. Although the province has started a war on bikes and they're trying to limit the city's ability to build bike lanes and bike infrastructure. It's quite idiotic. This is the time of day statistically when the roads are the busiest in the city.
I'm trying hard right now, last 2 weeks, but yeah.
But sure, let's limit bike lanes. And limit people's options and abilities to safely get around. That makes sense to me. And this is the TD Center. And the initial two buildings were completed back in 1969, and this building straight ahead is the tallest of the bunch. That stands at 732 feet high. That was designed by Mies van der Rohe. Well, since then, a few more buildings have gone up in the complex. That one right there used to house the Toronto Stock Exchange. So we're going to head down to Wellington Street, then over to York Street. But we'll cut through the TD Center courtyard here, where you used to have a rather spectacular view of the CN Tower, but that has since been blocked. That building straight ahead with the TD logo on it that also houses the Ontario Teachers Pension Plan. Oh, this patio is lively. In this building here on the south side of the 54th floor, there's a restaurant called Canoe. That's an Oliver and Bonacini restaurant. If you feel like a rather fancy meal and getting a great view of the skyline, or rather from the skyline, you can look into that. Reservations can be made online. I've eaten there once a long, long time ago. And it's worth noting, underneath the financial district is the Path, one of the world's largest underground networks of its kind. There's no doubt heavy foot traffic down there. That's where you'll find a lot of people at rush hour. So if you think maybe there should be more people on the streets in the financial heart of an entire country at rush hour, well, most of them are underground. Although on nicer days like this, you tend to find a fair bit of people at street level. All right, let's go north on York Street. And this is a one-way street north of Front, where I'll be finishing up. And it terminates at Queen. You get a nice view into the TD Center with Commerce Court West looming in the background.
Do you have?
Like Eric had a fucking meeting.
Traffic seems to be moving pretty decently today. And one of the reasons there's not so many cars on King Street is it is a designated transit priority corridor between Bathurst and I think Jarvis on the east side of downtown. Alright, now it calls for walking over to University.
Nice. And I've just dated though, and then I've just like
So we're going to be battling the sun pretty intensely for a block here. I recorded that other video back in 2019 in November, and it was pretty much dark by this time. There's Earl's, a popular after-work spot in the financial district, and they recently opened up a new restaurant where Lee Restaurant used to be. That is to the west of here on King Street. But throughout most of these intersections on King Street, cars cannot go straight through. They have to turn off of it. Hence the transit priority corridor. Although, of course, you'll often see drivers going straight through where it's prohibited because there's virtually zero enforcement in this city. Some people directing traffic in the intersection. So University Avenue here is the western edge of the financial district. On the west side is the entertainment district.
To your work dinner.
Oh, that's fun.
All right, according to the sign at Cafe Landwehr, it is 20 degrees Celsius or 69 Fahrenheit.
I have some kind of similar concepts as well. You're not playing with sarcasm
And this is one of my favorite skyscraper canyons in the city.
I keep taking shots at Batman in the bathroom. I hear it.
So I'm gonna go east on Adelaide Street here. They've recently moved the bike lane over to the north side. Also, these streetcar tracks are getting primed to take over the Queen streetcar duties, as the Queen streetcar isn't running, I think, between York and Victoria Street. And that's due to Ontario Line construction, so it'll be diverted south for the eastbound streetcars will be on Adelaide, and the westbound ones will be up on Richmond. This little island here has been the source of some controversy. There's a few of these. You will notice cyclists often going around the wrong side of it, as it's directly in the path of the bike lane. And this guy's not having fun with it. But had he have gone left, which seems a little counterintuitive, that whole situation would have been avoided. You gotta keep your head up and pay attention when you're on your bike. I don't hate it, but someone is definitely gonna be going a good clip and having a moment of inattention and eat shit with that thing being put right there. I wonder if this concrete barrier is permanent. That is pretty ugly, but keeps vehicles from accidentally turning into the bike lane. Someone's still going to do it. It is Toronto after all.
From a vegan? How much?
Diana says that I just shouldn't respond.
It's actually Friday night.
There is the giant head called Dreaming. It's a 3-story work of art by the Spanish artist Juan Plaza. I remember first coming across that during a live stream several years ago. There's similar installations throughout the world. My camera just decided to shoot to the right. There's another look up at First Canadian Place. And that is the Cactus Club. That chain made its way over from Vancouver. I mentioned Scotia Plaza earlier being 902 feet tall. This building here, the St. Regis, as my camera goes to the left, I wonder if it's giving up the ghost, is the St. Regis, and that stands 908 feet tall, although that is kind of cheating using the spire.
This is another one of those. Can you get a reservation?
To increase its height. It was originally built as the Trump Tower, Toronto. Amazing. I walked around Tokyo for a week and I might have heard one horn the whole time. There's the Bay Adelaide Center, former home of the Bay Adelaide Stump, also known as being where the TV show Suits was set. But we are going to cut through Scotia Plaza here. And this will take us through to King Street, then I'm going to walk over to Yonge, and then we'll head north up to Richmond, over to Bay Street, then down the front. With so many people working from home these days, I think Thursday is the bigger after work day for going out than Friday. And you could head down those escalators into the path network. And in that video I recorded almost 5 years ago, I was asked not to record in here. That was one of the few times ever I've been asked not to record. Apparently they don't like cameras in this banking area. It's an older building over there. They've got some art. Foreign exchange, commercial and small business services. You see the inside of a kind of a grand old Art Deco building. Speaking of grand old Art Deco buildings, there is the former tallest building in the British Commonwealth. And probably the single best example of Art Deco in the financial district. Commerce Court North, right next to Commerce Court West. We are back to across the street from near where I started this on King. car was mostly empty. Oh, that was a 503 though. That one's only going as far as Spadina. Everyone's waiting for this next one, a 504.
Bro, I love your jacket.
They are ready. Wait, there's a
And we're at King and Young. That guy was weird. I don't know if he was in the video or not. But we're going north up to Richmond and over to Bay.
even with all this.
Should we go home?
There is Craft. They've got a pretty good patio on the other side. It's a popular after work spot. We are back to Adelaide. Look directly towards the sun.
Sorry.
Right, we're at Richmond Street. Financial district ends a block north of here at Queen.
But his treatments are affecting him.
Someone not having a very good time over there. Here's Bay Street. This runs north all the way. We just passed the north end of downtown at Davenport. And look at this asshole. How about stopping before the line?
Hey, Tamara.
And the person next to them did the same. Is Old City Hall, and that clock tower is taller than the one that houses Big Ben, the Elizabeth Tower in the UK. So we're gonna head south down to Front.
Lots of new industry.
Yeah, and I said that. But yeah, and then I said, I don't even know him. Like,
Back to Adelaide.
very standout.
There's a Wheel-Trans bus. More people who have no clue how to drive. All right, and we are once again back to King Street. This is actually the first pre-recorded Toronto video I've done since I got back from Korea and Japan. I got back Sunday evening. It is now Thursday, so it's only taken me 4 days to get back in the swing of things. I've done 2 streams since then. There's the original home of the Toronto Stock Exchange. They recently refinished the facade. The Stock Exchange now operates up on Adelaide. I walked past it earlier. I just neglected to point it out. This is Wellington Street. And the RBC towers, which actually feature real gold in their windows. They're built in an era where all the banks were trying to outflex one another.
Piano. Not coming? I didn't get the invite, so no.
BCE Place on the left, or Brookfield Place. Made it to Front Street. Just across the street is the busiest train station in the entire country. Union Station. The CN Tower looming well behind it. In the area just to the south of here, where all those tall towers are, is the South Core. I'm going to be making my way over into Union Station. And it's back into the sun. Maybe we'll just pop into Union Station.
And what I want. Part of the deal to get us.
This is pretty brutal walking in this direction. I think there's a Maple Leaf game tonight. Preseason game, probably. There's the Royal York Hotel, another former tallest building in the British Commonwealth. Here we are at the Great Hall. That sun still streaming into here. So I hope you enjoyed this revisit of a walk I did a long time ago through the financial district in downtown Toronto during rush hour. Do let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. Anywho, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Yoink!